welcome to Let's Talk Tottenham. One game left, one more job to do, and then top four is ours. You've seen from the intro, the title of this, it comes from the Thin Blue Line, a British sitcom, and the head of the CID department, who's going on about it. Above all, no fannying about. Get the job done. Don't mess about. Take it seriously. Get the job done, and then top four is ours. Three great guests. Brad, how you doing?
I'm good, thank you. Good. Very thank you. Feel a lot better than I did today than I did yesterday, but that's good. Little 24-hour bug, but I'm on the road to recovery now. So
excellent. And Brian, how you doing, buddy? Other than your cat, which we've been talking about, but
mate, I'm channeling my inner Canadian. I have a very, very, very strong coffee, and I will be a lot more alert. Do you know what? Honestly, I'm shattered, but only in Canada. You know when people are like, "Don't talk to me, I haven't had my coffee." That's an actual thing here. They'll be like that. They'll be like, "Oh, hello, what a beautiful morning. How you doing?" It actually happens here, and that will happen with me. I've been up because of my bloody cat at 4 a.m. and it's only 20 to 8 here. So yeah, all I could say was the excitement of coming on this show. So we'll go with that one.
We'll edit that out and go with that one, yeah. And Tommy, how you doing, buddy?
All good. I'm feeling, do you know what? I was on really good vibes, obviously after the Burnley victory, and then that brilliant showing by the Geordies. Away, the Geordie boys, done us a big favour. Arsenal did themselves, they were terrible. But still, Newcastle helped us massively. But I'm feeling apprehensive now. I am feeling a little bit apprehensive now. I have to say, I don't want to sound negative. I don't want to sound negative, but we haven't got it yet. We haven't got top four yet, so there's still a job to be done.
Yeah, people in the chat.
Just a couple of things I have to say. First of all, because I didn't get to say it before the stream, Chris. Anytime Arsenal play next season on a Monday night and you need me, let me know. We've got a 100% hit record at the moment, Palace and Newcastle. So just let me know.
Yeah.
And I have to say, Tommy, this time your shave. You look, seeing it's not a clean shave, it actually suits you.
Oh, thanks.
It actually suits. When you clean shave to look like a 12-year-old boy, that's just completely wrong.
I've been getting that all week. I've been getting 10-year-old boy all week, so
mate,
I'm happy
that looks a lot better. Honestly, that looks a lot better.
I lost my driving license. I lost my driving license last weekend when I was out with the missus. I lost my driving license, ID. So now I'm having to roll around with passports everywhere, and I will get ID. I'll guarantee you, I will get ID'd. I'm 32. It's mad.
People in the chats, thanks for watching, everybody. Thanks for getting in the chats. Keep them coming. Please hit the like. Please hit the subscribe. Really helps. How you doing, Josh? And,
what's up, Joshy boy?
Everton securing safety doesn't make it easier for us, does it? Well, it doesn't really make a difference. We win. It's a foregone conclusion anyway. But first things first, Tommy's already kind of mentioned it. Thank you, Newcastle. Mm-hmm. Obviously, we beat Arsenal fairly comfortably, but we still needed them to drop points, and they were terrible. Newcastle was superb. I think I cheered the Newcastle goals slightly louder than I cheered the Burnley penalty. But yeah, I mean, Brad, does this say to you that Arsenal? I'm immensely proud as well. I wasn't at the game, but I'm immensely proud of Spurs fans with Gary Neville saying Arsenal got absolutely battered. I can't remember the pulverized by 60,000 Spurs fans. Do you think that game has destroyed them mentally?
Well, first of all, if you allow me, Chris, and I don't normally do this, I would like to say a big shout out to three people: Miller, who is a female Arsenal supporter; Jin, who is a male Manchester United supporter; and Mark, who is a male Liverpool supporter. They used to be my work colleagues. None of us work there anymore, but we had a WhatsApp group on football, and obviously the banter's been going backwards and forth, and we had an interesting discussion after the Tottenham North London derby. But I have to say that they're really, really unbiased, totally honest football supporters, and Miller, the Arsenal ladies, actually said that we deserved top four this season. So yeah. So as far as Arsenal are going, yeah, they were just totally lost it. Totally lost it. I think the crowd on Thursday night, and it's hard to believe that last time I was on the show last week, it's just a day, the previous evening. I have to say the crowd at Tottenham were absolutely amazing. And yeah, it worked. And Arsenal couldn't handle it. And then they went to Newcastle on Monday and had the same thing from the Geordies. And Newcastle played so well and they couldn't handle it. And yeah, you could say they're young, but yeah, that's how it goes. And we've got an excellent coach in Antonio Conte, who's got our team playing in that sort of professional, sort of no-nonsense, still aggressive, but as I keep saying, controlled, aggressive way. And I was watching another stream a couple of days ago, and one of the guys on it, I think it might have been Charlie Eccleshare, says that he couldn't believe at the end of that Tottenham Arsenal game how routine it seemed. It was almost like a routine win that we just did it. It wasn't intense. It's like, yeah, we just turned up, played our game, and won. And yeah, it's just absolutely brilliant. And now it's all in our hands. The loss at Arsenal at Newcastle means that we only need a draw. Unless Arsenal win 16-0.
Well, that's what Josh said here.
Yeah.
Say if we win, it's done. If we draw, it's done. I don't see Arsenal back at 18 goals.
But
we can't go for a draw, can we? If we go for a draw, we're in trouble. We're going to lose.
And the good thing about that is, the good thing about that is not for the fact that a draw will do it, but the fact that we have to score. If we score first, then Norwich has to get 2 goals to beat us. If we score 2, they have to get 3. So it's advantageous to us. Norwich, yeah, I'm like Tommy. I'm still apprehensive. There's still that thing in the back of your mind. This is Tottenham, But yeah, we go in there as favourites. Norwich have been getting battered by a load of teams at home. They'll come at us. They'll attack us.
I hope they do, because that will obviously help us.
Exactly. And you've got behind that, you've got this Conte professionalism. He'll have them mentally right, I think, to come out of that game. And people keep bringing up the Newcastle 5-1 under Poch, but that was totally different. We'd already secured Champions League football. All that was pride of finishing second above Arsenal. That's all it was, and we lost it and we didn't. But that's what it was. It's not as important as this game against Norwich. So I think he'll have them going well, and hopefully we'll do the business and do it early so I can relax.
Is Chris frozen?
I think he's frozen.
Okay, so all I will say with look at that is a real strong face there by Chris.
He's frozen with his eyes open perfectly.
He is enthralled in the conversation. All I will say, piggybacking on what Brad said, when it comes to that Newcastle game, all I have to say is with that is Poch, Wenger, Arteta, Antonio Conte. That's all I've got to say. And Antonio Conte won't allow us. I think this week he has spent the whole week just drilling in, because the players know what they got to do on the pitch. They're professional footballers. They know what they've got. I think what he's doing, it's all in here this week. Obviously, they'll be doing some stuff on the pitch, but I think he will be telling them under no uncertain circumstances, do you throw away this, or do you go out and think it's done and start doing like we did with Mura and with all these other teams? It's go in and do what you've got to do. You're going into battle. And I must admit, it shows how badly I was tired this morning, because I woke up to the breaking news that there's an Arsenal player that signed a contract. I was like, oh, fuck, who have they gone and signed? And I was Googling it. I think there was I was like, that's one of the women's team. I was like, Brian, calm down. Her name was Vivian, whatever, but they're saying PSG were after them and all this. I was like, no, who have they signed? What's this young player they must have signed this? And I was like, oh, okay. Fantastic. It's for the women's team.
Vivian is a boy's name. Vivian is a boy's name. If you watch the young
Vivian
ones.
can go both ways. Exactly. That's what threw me. And I was like, because I was so tired, I didn't see. When Sky Sport do their breaking news, there's a picture kind of there. I didn't even see the picture. I was just seething so much that I just saw the name. I was like, who is this Vivian? Whatever. I was like, okay. But yeah,
they've also sold someone as well.
There he is.
There he is. He's back again.
Pissing computers, bloody thing.
Mate, yeah, I must admit, go back and watch it. We were just saying your freeze was probably that we all get frozen like this, like, or you were just like you like Trevor McDonald's attention. You're like,
it was perfect. It was perfect.
It was.
Right, yeah. Sorry about that. I don't know what you guys were talking about, but yeah, in terms of Everton, they've obviously safe now. No pressure on them. Pressure's all on Arsenal. that crowd are probably going to get annoyed if they can see the goal, and seemingly Arsenal now, if they can see the goal, game's done. But Brian, do you see an upset there in terms of Arsenal losing at home to Everton?
Do you know what? I don't know. I mean, I hope so. I hope so. Everton, do you know what? People are saying Everton are going to be on the beaches now and want to play. I don't think that's the case. I think Everton will be in a... Oh, and Chris has got again. That's a great question, Chris. Thanks for the question. What I will say with this is they're playing for their careers. Mate, I have to say, if you don't like my answer, you don't have to leave your own goddamn show. But
I can't do stuff in the chat. It's causing an error. So, bloody thing.
So all I will say when it comes to this is I don't think Everton will play that they're on the beach. It's the final game of the season. The Everton away fans, like the Spurs away, like any away fans, are hardcore fans that travel. Not saying the home aren't, but they travel the length and breadth. They're going to be in party mode. They'll be rubbing it into Arsenal that they'll be playing Europa League. They'll be up for it. And please God, Dele comes onto the pitch at some point. Because as much as I wanted him out, I think it's written in the stars. As far as this league goes, honestly, everything is written in the stars. Like who would have thought that they would have lost? I mean, we knew they'd lose to us, but I even predicted the score with you, Chris, when I was on and on top with the way they're going to capitulate. What a final now in the coffin that they lose or draw, and it's Dele that scores the goal. Now, I will admit, as soon as the full-time whistle goes, I'm going to my first baseball game. I'm going to watch the Toronto Blue Jays, which we were going to get a ticket for you, Brad, but you come the next day. So that'd be a bit of a waste of time.
I know you enjoy it, Brian. You really will.
But it's not a sport I'm really into, but everyone goes, it's so much better when you go there. So I'm like, all right, let's try it. It only lasts 3 hours, so it'll give me time to kill.
Short by American Canadian standards.
Poor man's cricket.
Exactly.
Poor man's cricket.
But what I will do on the walk from the Scotland Yard to the ballpark, which is about a 5-10 minute walk, maybe about 10-15 minute walk, I am going to watch the Arsenal lap of appreciation with the greatest smile on my face, because that is good. I don't even know if people will still be in there. But yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun, and I'll be back in 2 seconds. Just need to go to the bathroom.
Excellent.
I have to say, you can imagine the perfect scenario, although I wouldn't want it spirits it, will be, because we're 2 points clear of Arsenal, so the perfect will be Arsenal leading 1-0 and we're 1-0 down to Norwich. So at that point in time, Arsenal in fourth, and then Dele Alli gets to equalise with the last kick of the game. That would be the perfect scenario.
Yeah. But the perfect scenario, that wouldn't be bad. The perfect scenario would be that we don't concede a goal and we don't piss about.
And we
get
win
an easy
comfortably,
win. Carl Simpson says Dele changed the game last night. Tommy, how do you see the Arsenal-Everton game going after what Everton have done and what we did to Arsenal and what Newcastle did to Arsenal?
Yeah, I mean, first with the Dele thing, I just watched the highlights. I wasn't sure whether, I can't confirm that Dele changed things, but it's about time, for 4 years, coming off the bench to do something in 10 minutes, it should be the least you expect now and again from a player of his past quality to do. But I saw his celebrations, Dele, and he was celebrating like he just won the World Cup. The fans were celebrating Lampard like he's just won them the World Cup. Now, I understand being, staying in the Premier League is a massive deal, but I don't think much congratulations should be aimed at Lampard. To be honest with you, he's been average at best. He's been average.
Do you think he'll be there next season, or do you think he's already
Peter
under pressure
Reid?
now?
He will be, because the board are made up of Joe Royal, Peter Reid, and they're all, as I said, they're all hugging him like he's just won the World Cup. You got who's Tony Bellew, the Everton, the Scouse. He was hugging him, and he was like, "What?"
The boxer.
Yeah, well, if they'd lost, if Tony Bellew, if they'd lost, Tony Bellew might be doing something else to Frank Lampard, because they didn't.
Uppercut.
And I'll tell you what, before you move on to Norwich, I think I'll tell you what. One thing I will say is I want to actually clap and say well done to Patrick Vieira. Because he had and there's a lot of stuff talking about this now. And even though he's an ex-Schooner, Patrick Vieira had every single right to do what he did. I don't care if people say, no, Brian, what are you talking about? I don't care if he's ex-Arsenal. After what's happened with Billy Sharp.
And thankfully that guy's gone to prison because that was just complete cowardly. That was
after what it also happened. Swindon versus not Preston. Who did they play? Port Vale. That's it. I knew it began with a P. Listen, we understand fans running onto the pitch like we did at the last game of the Lane, or not me, but people that were there. But you don't go on and start abusing people. And you know what? You have just literally secured your safety in Premier League, which would have been huge for your club. And Patrick Vieira is just trying to walk off.
Yeah, because it's the dugout is the opposite side from where
exactly.
Yeah.
He is trying to walk off. And you know what? You don't know if these fans... Look what happened with Jack Grealish as well. Look what these fans... And don't get me wrong, there are fans that are running on to celebrate and hug their players that they support and the emotion. But this is getting ridiculous now. And I saw it was the Port Vale manager said that, like, what is going on in this country? And this is a bigger problem, which we're not going to get into right now. But I am completely, totally and utterly standing by Patrick Vieira on this.
Yeah, no, me too.
And
I think everyone will. I think everyone will. He's the last person.
There's a lot of players.
He's the last person you'd mess with. He's the last person. He's a big boy. And they just lost a 2-goal lead, Crystal Palace. So Everton won 3. He could not have been in good spirits. The last person you want to fuck with.
Showing the good side of football fans as well. If you watch that clip, or the one I've seen, it does look like after the incident, there's a couple of Everton fans, or they got blue tops on, presumably, that come actually round him and more or less escort him off.
That's what it's about. There's no way, especially with today. I mean, don't get me wrong. If that was Arsenal Tottenham, you know exactly what's coming his way, which I wouldn't condone. On the other way, but you would, because this has got to stop now. The stewards have got the steward or the ball boys, the stewards, whatever. They do very well to tackle these kind of things. But when it's a mass onslaught, they are absolutely defenseless, and something's got to be done. Whether the police come out just before and circle them or whatever, it's.
They normally do.
You've got to stop the on-pitch stuff at the end of the games, at the end of the season.
It will end up getting to a stage
nip that in the bud, I think.
It'll end up getting to a stage where they have to put cages around the whole field.
We're not going back to fences. Jesus
ridiculous.
Christ.
But yeah, I completely agree. Rivalries and banter is one thing. Abuse and violence is just completely.
I have to remember. I remember a few years ago. I mean, one of my regrets actually is I didn't go on the pitch at White Lane the last game. You know, I was like, get him off. We want to see on the presentation, get him off. And I thought, actually, I would have liked to have just gone for a little bit. But anyway, we went to Selhurst Park to watch when Wimbledon were playing there. Wimbledon Spurs. Wimbledon, it had been a 0-0 draw at Tottenham in the League Cup semi-final. The second leg was at Selhurst, and we won 1-0 and got to get to the final. I think it's a 99 final. And I was in row 4. So everyone starts going on the pitch. And I thought, what else? They're on the pitch, we're all celebrating. And to be fair to the stewards were fine. They just let us do it. And then the stewards said, okay, guys, you've had your phone. Could you please leave the pitch now? And we all left the pitch. And it was really, really good that, you know, that they realised that everyone was happy. No one ran on there to have a go at anybody. It was just celebrating the fact that we got to the League Cup final. And the stewards were really good. They were there, but they thought, okay, we'll let them have it. And they, okay, guys, come on. You know, let's see. And we all left. It was great. It's really, really good. I actually thanked one of the stewards. I said, look, thanks for being so reasonable, you know, so.
Yeah, it's just a sad state of affairs, isn't it? But, hopefully it stops happening like Brian says, because it's getting ridiculous. But
you want the players to enjoy the moment, don't you?
Yeah,
you know what's horrible is, and sorry to...
It's tarnished for them, isn't it? They've just escaped relegation,
all running to get off the pitch.
Now it's tarnished.
You know?
Yeah, but moving on to Tottenham, Brad, said it again, no fannying about, and above all, no fannying about. Be professional, get the job done. It's not a case of, you know, we've got to be professional. This is a Premiership team. They've got nothing to play for. There's no pressure on them, so they could be dangerous, and they want to do something for their fans on the last day. So we've got to be professional. This is easy. Arsenal won't win. We've won this anyway. Be professional. So do you think Conte, literally from when they played Burnley until now, is drilling that in? Because we've seen sometimes where we've not turned up, which to me looks like
Sorry, Chris,
counted
Christina,
our
I've just
chickens
got to
before they
quickly
hatch.
pop off and do what I've got to do, and then I'll come back.
Right, no
Okay?
worries.
I'll be back very, very shortly. And as always,
Yeah,
I can't say it till Sunday.
Like you said, I left because of your answer. Are you leaving because of my question and it wasn't addressed to you?
No. I've got to very quickly go on We Are Tottenham TV, and then I'll be straight back. So, back, Conte. See you shortly.
No worries. And yeah, simply Ace has said here, we'll get onto this a bit later when we talk about Conte. Don't get me wrong, qualifying for Champions League is a good achievement, but rather win a trophy. We'll talk about that a bit later on. But yeah, Brad, being professional.
Yeah. Well, as you say, no fanning about. It's just get out there. You have to win the game. At the end of the day, well, certainly when they kick off, it's 11 versus 11. Yes, our 11 have done better than their 11 this season. Our 11 are probably better players than their 11, but it's on the day. It's always on the day. And we've seen cup upsets. We've seen, especially in the Premier League, where teams at the bottom can win at the top. I think we saw Norwich beat Man City a few years ago, 3-2. So, look, this game is not won yet. Yes, we're favourites. Yes, we should do it. Yes, only needing the point is better than having to win. We have to go in there. We have to go in there on the premise that Arsenal have won their game. There's no other way. We can't think, Everton was vote. No, we got to assume that Arsenal will win their game, and that or that they already have won their game, and that we need the point to get. I was going to say promotion and to get the top four. But yeah, it's and if you want anyone in world football, or one of 3 or 4 managers in world football to install that professionalism and that non-fanning about attitude, then you go with Antonio Conte. He's been there, he's done it all. I'm sure. I don't know the circumstances of his wins in the leagues, but I'm sure he's been in circumstances where his team have needed to do something on a certain day. I'm sure he's been in a situation where his team have needed to do something on a certain day against a lesser opposition. So I think we got the right man there, and we still have that. And I'm not going to say the word, but we still have that feeling in the back of our minds. It's happened before. Probably not at this level, to be fair. As I said, the Newcastle game didn't mean Champions League. It just meant finishing above Arsenal, to be fair. Let's face it, that's what it meant. Which you don't get a trophy for either. So I think they'll go in that game. They got players. I mean, the 2 guys, Bentancur and Kulusevski, have come from, play for Juventus. They must have been in similar situations. I'm confident they will go in with the right attitude.
Yeah, and Tommy, 2 very different wins that we've had before. Arsenal, where we completely took it to them the first couple of minutes. They were better than us, but we got into the game and then completely took it to them and completely destroyed them. Burnley, very, very scrappy, but got the job done. How do you see this panning out? A lot, I think, will depend on how Norwich approach the game. If they attack us, I think it could be an Arsenal game. If they sit back, be a Burnley game. But do you see us trying to take initiative and trying to get into them, trying to unsettle them? Or do you think we'll kind of keep it tight to try and not concede a goal, which for me is a risky kind of tactic?
I think with Conte in charge, it's inevitable. He knows what to do. He knows that we have to go at it, and it should be a given. Norwich are bottom. They were relegated mathematically about, at least a month ago. So it makes sense just to absolutely go for the victory. I'm sure he will under Conte. Can I just say, great to see the regulars in the chat. Carl Simpson, Chris Agomba, Simply Ace, and of course Sean. I also want to say to Tottenham Manden, keep talking about it. I love being talked about. I absolutely, whether it's positive or negative. So I absolutely love being talked about.
I was trying to block that, but it won't allow me to. So
no, mate. Bring it on. I love it. Slightly racist in Kosovan soldier, but I am from that part of the world, and I'm not the woke type, so you can call me what you want. I'm sort of woke, but not over the edge woke. So yeah, any time somebody talks about me, I feel happy. Right.
But we don't need to talk about idiots who just come on here and
I'm not the mouthpiece. I'm not the mouthpiece for the Spurs fans. So if I say, when I say if we fail to beat Norwich and Arsenal win, I mean they will get fourth. Arsenal will get fourth, and we will not. That's fact. So, but I don't think Conte will allow that to happen. After I saw the celebrations to the Burnley victory, with Conte, he knew that was it. He knew that would put Arsenal under pressure. It would put serious pressure on them for the Newcastle game, and it did.
Did they not handle the pressure there, or did Newcastle want to do something without? For their fans, they're a passionate fan base anyway. Do Do you think it was more Arsenal buckled under the pressure, or Newcastle were just so fired up?
Bit of both.
Or
Definitely
both,
a bit of both. Sitting on the fence, saying a bit of both. But it certainly was. Arsenal were horrific, like they were against us after we scored the first goal in the North London derby.
Yeah.
And then Newcastle could have won 3-0, 4-0. And we know they've ended the season very, very well. I think they would have been in the top four if they'd carried this form on from January to now, since Eddie Howe had been there. I think they would have been top four. Something crazy or stat like that, something crazy like that.
It helped them with Callum Wilson was superb, and Arsenal just couldn't cope with him. So it'd be very interesting how they cope with Calvert-Lewin. Not as strong or big as Callum Wilson, but he's certainly bulked up in recent years compared to how he was a few years ago. So it'd be very interesting that. But yeah.
The one-tooth wonder, Callum Wilson, the one-tooth wonder. He hasn't done anything all season other than that. So maybe I don't know if it was a veneer or not. Well, I hope it wasn't an actual tooth, because that looked fucking horrible. But anyway, maybe we should lose more teeth when we play football. It could help us. I mean, Calvert-Lewin scored. I think he scored the winner for Everton as well, didn't he?
He
scored great goal as well. Lovely headed goal.
It was a very good goal. But he scored 2 goals since August. I know he's been injured, but for a striker of that level, because he hadn't scored since August before last week or the week before. So he's got 2 goals since August. I don't think Arsenal are going to win. I don't think Arsenal will beat Everton. Everton are on a high, absolute high. They're staying up. They've got a good team. You know, they have got a good team. They should be nowhere near the relegation zone. Carlo Ancelotti, they were fighting for Champions League last season at one stage. That's why Real Madrid took him. I think they finished 7th or 8th, but they should easily be a top 10 club with a team they've got, Everton. So I can see them going to the Emirates and at least getting a point. Probably. Arsenal have just capitulated. They've absolutely capitulated. And I think the experience of the players, Kane, Son, late 20s, 30, and, Saka, Emil Smith-Rowe, very good players, but 2021, same with Odegaard, and the experience of the manager. More important than anything, the experience of the Conte compared to Arteta, completely separate. It's pulled us through.
That's a good point, Tommy, actually. That's a good point about experience. If you look at down the spine of our team, Lloris, World Cup winner, even Dyer, you can argue, has been around for a time. He's played in the World Cup semi-final. You've got Kane. You've got a lot of experienced players.
Højbjerg's experience.
Yeah, Højbjerg. They're not spring chickens. They've been there and they've experienced that. I mean, even Ben Davies has played in World Cup qualifiers and in European Championships.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a good point. They've got that sort of experience there.
Well, I mean, you make a point about Arteta when that sending off happened with Holding against us. Obviously, if you were at the game, you wouldn't have seen it, but on TV, it was deer in headlights. He didn't have a clue what to do, whereas Conte would have at least had some plans there. And I loved after the Newcastle game, Xhaka's interview. There's problems there. There's problems within the team. They're arguing with each other. I love that. But yeah, simply ace here with the Norwich game. If we sit back against Norwich, we'll get beaten. We must, in the main, get at them. I think we will. Fortune favours the brave. Go get the goals. They've got minus 58 goal difference, I think, or something like that. So there are goals in it for us. Kane and Son, I think, will be pretty upset if they don't get a goal in that game. And Everton celebrated as if they won the Premier League. But let's talk about Conte. Hopefully Brian comes back because he'll want to talk about this as well. Where we were to now, Conte's work. I mean, Bob said, I've seen him say on numerous streams and certainly at the time, now Conte's in, I expect to get top 4. Will we get it? I'm positive, but I expect us to get top 4. A lot of Spurs fans didn't. Even when we were in the top 4 race, we're not good enough. We're not good enough for top 4. We are good enough for top 4 now if we beat Norwich. But from where we were under Nuno, I'll start with you, Tommy. From where we were under Nuno, where we were all over the place, not creating chances, not scoring goals, to now where we are with possibly still the highest scorers in 2022 and on the verge of Champions League. It's been an unbelievable turnaround from Conte, has it not?
I think when he took over, when he first took over, I was like, yeah, it'd be an unbelievable achievement. I'd even Europa League would be decent considering where we were. So, if he is to go, I'm sure we will get the top 4. It would be some achievement. But then you have to look at the teams around us. You have to look at Arsenal, and you have to say, you saw Xhaka come out with we just mentioned it, that there are problems behind the scenes. Man United. Losing to Brighton 4-0. 4-0 pretty much sums their season up. So the teams around West Ham haven't had the depth to play in Europa League and Premier League. They've had a relatively poor season. So getting top 4 is an achievement. I thought one of those clubs would have a really good end to the season. And look, Arsenal's still in it at the end of the day. So we've been competing with Arsenal. We're still competing with Arsenal now. So it doesn't mean, for me, this is, in most seasons, this is not a top 4 squad. But so some achievement that Conte's done it. But, you know, we've been helped out with the other teams not being so good. So going into the summer, we're going to need some big changes. If we want to carry on, get into the top 4 and be competitors in the Champions League, we're going to need to make serious improvements. No doubt, Conte's got us through, but they've been equally terrible results. So, you know, losing to Wolves, losing to Southampton, no shot on target against Brighton and Brentford. I think the best thing with Conte, the greatest thing with Conte is the fitness levels. I think we were like 18th when under Nuno, we were like 18th.
We were 20th and then went to first under Conte.
Yeah, in terms of miles run. In terms of miles run, I think that's the difference. After 60 minutes, we're still going. We can still get that late goal on a Conte, and that will certainly serve us well. I remember Reggie, the first week that Conte took over was like, it's been the worst week of my life. In terms of how hard he had to train. So that's great to see, and the fact that he's got that philosophy drilled in already, and I'm sure he can improve on that in the summer. But we need recruits. We
do you think this top 4, a 4th or 5th, will have any difference or bearing on that? If we get 4th, then there's more money to spend because of the money from Champions League, so Conte has a bit more. Or if 5th, no? Or do you think if you get 4th, you're good enough for 4th, you don't need as many players as you want? I'm sure regardless, Conte will be saying, here's my list, I need these players. But in terms of Levy, giving him the money, or do you think it makes a huge difference? I know you said on your stream, I think, Tommy,
huge.
You're worried if we finish 5th because Arsenal will then be ahead of us for a few more years or maybe 5 years.
Well, they could sign the best. They could sign a better striker.
Yeah. Do you think
striker.
It's the other way round? If we finish 4th, that we can pull away from them and then they're stuck where they are. So do you think top 4 is a huge thing for us this season?
I thought this season was more. This is key, fundamental than previous seasons because Arsenal are better than they have been. They are better than they have been, and they've got good young players coming through. They've got a better backline than ours. Ramsdale, Tierney's been injured. Gabriel, they've got a good line. They've got no striker, and they've got weak centre midfielders. If they get 4th, if they were to get 4th, they could get one of the best strikers because they need a striker. They could get Lautaro Martinez over us, which would have worried me. Now they can't. This is why it was so important that we got 4th over Arsenal now, because one of the big thing they've got missing in terms of their attack is a striker. Smith Rowe, Odegaard, and Saka are very good. I know they haven't been good for the last 2 games, but you know they were good for the previous 35 games. That's why they were 4 or 5 points in front of us going into the last 3 games. So that worried me. And people can say, look after your own, look after yourselves, but you got to look at other teams as well because you know. We only played the teams two times a season for 36 games. They're not playing us, so it's how they do against the other teams. And for me, if they could sign better level of player, better class of player. Now we've got a fantastic manager that players want to play for. We've got top 4 Champions League to offer players next season. It was so pivotal that we got top 4. We haven't done it yet, but so pivotal, and I'm happy. It could put Arsenal in the back foot for a few more years to come, and I'm sure it will do, especially with Arteta there. That was the best news. Of the last month. 3-year contract extension. Wonderful. Exactly what we want.
I mean, good comment here, Brad, from Simply Ace. Conte has done wonders with the team. If the players are performing badly, he'll give them a rocket. Also, he indirectly said the team was rubbish. Prove me wrong. And it's worth noting as well, not that long ago, I can't remember exactly, maybe 5, 6, 7 games ago, we were 6 points behind Arsenal in 8th, and we were 8th. They had a game in hand above us as well.
And better goal difference. 7 goals better.
Yeah, so therefore, if they win that, better goal difference and 9 points clear. We're now level on games, 1 game left. 2 points ahead of them, I think a 15 better goal difference. But the turnaround from where Nuno was, you know, the 3 losses, the absolute dreadful play, and now we're scoring goals for fun. I mean, how do you rate how he's done? And do you agree with Tommy that it's Champions League isn't that great in kind of what we were doing, but it's pivotal that we get that this season?
Can I go back to? I think we seem to forget, and this is I'm going back on my memory from certainly the first game of the season against Manchester City. I watched that game and I felt confident for the future. I saw the team were enjoying their football, and I've said this. If you go back and watch the streams, I said this, and this is really wonderful. Nuno's going to do a great job. Blah 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 blah. So, and he did for those first 2 or 3 games. We won our 3 games, which if you look for the whole season, that's 9 points. We at the most we're going to get Champions League football by 5 points. So, and at the least be level on goal difference. So we mustn't underestimate that start was very, very important. But then the wheels, maybe that was the new manager bounce, if you want to call it that. Then the wheels fell off. So he had to go. There was no doubt about that, and we would not be nowhere near where we are now if Nuno had stayed. But I thought at the time when we sacked him, and I'd like to thank actually Nuno for being our caretaker manager until Conte changed his mind. When we lost against Manchester United, which again one of those losses that proved to be the best result we could have had all season, I would have said, and I probably was asked this on the show, I would have said that 6 would be the highest we could get this season. So to be on the verge of 4th, I think it's an unbelievable achievement. As far as the Champions League football is concerned, now I heard the other day, and from previous years, I believe that the group stages, which 4th will get you, is a guaranteed income of around £100 million. So actually, I might be wrong there because I think we made £100 million from making the Champions League semi-final, unless it's gone up. So
that seems a lot. That seems a hell of a lot.
Yeah. I don't think that's wrong. I think but it is. Put it this way, it's enough to pay the money off to get Romero and Kulusevski.
Yeah, it's tens of millions, isn't it? Easy.
Yeah. It could be that 5 million extra that we won't go to get a player. Daniel Levy.
I think you're right in terms of Romero. I think he's going to cost 45 million pounds. So I think you'll cover that, which is great because it means we've got more. So I think it's an advantage, but it's also an advantage in attracting players as well. Because the one thing we've got a lot of things going for us. We've got Premier League football. A lot of players want to play in the Premiership. A lot of players want to live in London. A lot of players want to play in front of a £60,000 crowd 2 weeks. A lot of people want to train in training facilities like we've got. A lot of people want to play under Antonio Conte. We've got a lot of things going for us. A lot of people want to live in London. A lot of things going for us. The one thing we haven't got going for us at the moment is Champions League football. So that'll be like the icing on the cake. And then it comes down to, and I'm sure Brian, when he comes back, will talk about this. It comes down to the board and how they back Conte. Conte will not be satisfied with 4th position next season. He will not. The way football is at the moment in the Premier League, no one's anywhere near Manchester City and Liverpool. But I'll tell you what, if he's back properly with some decent players, and you keep the likes of Dyer and Davis, but they're on the bench, they're squad players, because I think they're squad players, they're a good part of this team, then I don't see why 3rd isn't out of the question next season. Because Chelsea, we don't know what's going to happen with their money situation and their new owners. Manchester United have got a new manager who wants to build something, so that's going to take time to happen. West Ham,
whether he's allowed to build either.
Exactly, yeah. So Newcastle, they've got their money, but again, it will take them time to find out the players they want, and they'll be able to buy players, get rid of them, buy players, get rid of them until they get the right fit. So it'll take them a couple of seasons. So we've got a great opportunity next season, and I agree with what Tommy said this season about the teams around us weren't very good. And I have to say, when I was asked that question, where will we finish, I probably would have said that Manchester United have got a good team there. They'll come good. And I think that's probably a surprise that they actually never did.
The exact same boat. I thought that was going to at some point they will come good.
Exactly. And they never did.
Sancho, Ronaldo.
Yeah, exactly. And they never did.
But they've got big problems similar to us. It's not the manager who chooses the team and chooses the transfers. And they've got so much money that they can just spend it. I just want to quickly get into 2 tweets. Comments. Audio Artisan, how you doing, buddy? We could be the only place in London to see Champions League if Chelsea don't sort themselves out. And Bob here, which, if this is true, is kind of worrying.
Hey,
Have
Bob.
you guys seen the Lineker tweet? He's aware of food poisoning within the team, stressed it's no joke. Whether that's true, don't know. But, if it is true, that's kind of worrying. But yeah, and Simply Ace says we would have been in Man United's position if they had Conte instead. I mean, the tweet from Lineker, until it comes from actual Spurs official, I don't believe anything.
Have you seen it? Because you never know with Bob. Bob's a character. Have you seen it?
I have just looked on
I follow Gary
Lineker. He has tweeted something. Bob isn't lying on that one. He has tweeted something, but whether that's true or just, to just stir things
Big up the great
Bob. Who knows?
Big up the great Bobby. Big up Alan, Audio Artisan. Great to have you with us.
But I mean, if there is food poisoning, we've obviously got a few days left, but it would just be typical, wouldn't it? Absolutely typical.
I had a bug not long ago. I'm not sure if it's food poisoning. I couldn't move. I literally slumped and laid outside in the corridor for 48 hours. So if we have got food poisoning, if it's that bug, then we're in trouble. It's rubbish, isn't it? It's rubbish.
Have you seen his latest tweet, though?
No.
I don't normally reveal my sources, but he'll make an exception. I believe it might have been bechamel. Bechamel sauce, which goes with lasagna, doesn't it?
Right, okay, yeah.
So, my sauces, as in bechamel sauce as well. So I don't know. You wonder how he would know.
He likes to stir stuff up on Twitter, so we'll reserve judgment on there. But obviously,
although the Spurs Express has got
he's certainly a Leicester fan over a Spurs fan, isn't he, Gary Lineker?
Oh yeah, without a doubt. And he's celebrating Everton, wasn't he, last night? Because he played for them.
He used to play for them.
Spurs Express, and I don't know how reliable they are. Well, it's got here a tier 1. I'm not sure about that. Harry Kane's been feeling unwell today and has cancelled a media event this afternoon as a precaution. Well, at Jonathan Veal 83. So,
and Simply Ace also says here, if we don't get top 4, Conte will go into meltdown and his list will get bigger. But talking about Norwich, obviously this, it's a game of two teams, so Norwich have nothing to lose. No one, I don't think, is, even if there's a food poisoning outbreak at us, it isn't expecting us to get anything. Sorry, so there's nothing to lose there. They're at home. The fans aren't like Arsenal fans. If they go a goal down, are going to boo the fans and turn on the team. So it could be a not hostile atmosphere, but an uncomfortable atmosphere. So we've got to be wary of them. So. Brad, nothing to lose. Do you think that will give Norwich a bit of freedom, or do you think they'll be not wanting to get battered last game of the season, or do you think they'll just play how they normally play?
I'm not sure how they've been under Dean Smith, but before Dean Smith, they played with freedom anyway. So I think they'll play with freedom. I don't think the crowd will be hostile at Norwich. Yeah, they'll support them. Don't get me wrong, but it's not. I've been to Norwich a couple of times, and it's not the sort of place that you go there in fear. They're not right on top of you, so of course they play with abandon. But we went to Anfield a few weeks ago and played the Liverpool team that were trying, had to win or needed a win to win the Premier League. So we've experienced those sort of atmospheres, and we've got an absolutely amazing support. Such a good support. I couldn't get tickets for it, which is a bit of annoying, but so they'll be making a noise. All jokes aside, I do hope there isn't some issue with food poisoning because...
Bob Spurs just said Jonathan Veal, I'm assuming he's a fairly reputable source, has confirmed no outbreak, but Kane has been unwell.
As I said...
there's plenty of 24-hour bugs that are going around at the moment, so hopefully it's just one of those, and then he's fine come game time.
Yeah. And let's face it, when we had the big lasagna thing against... we went to West Ham at Upton Park, we only lost 2-1, so, so it's... I know playing with food poisoning, you can't, as Tommy said, it's bad, but hopefully it's not a huge outbreak. And
Arsenal still have to win anyway. Regardless, Arsenal have to win, and I don't think they're going to win.
Yeah,
like I said, I just don't think they're going to win.
Yeah. Well, I remember. I don't want to take you back, but I remember that day when we did lose at West Ham, and I think Arsenal beat Wigan, didn't they, 4-2? And I think Wigan were 1-0 up at one stage. I think we had to win at West Ham, and I remember at the end of the game, I was so annoyed but I needed a drink, so I went through Ealing. It's not there anymore, and I found the one pub that didn't have football on the screens. So, but hopefully, I won't have to do that this time.
Yeah, a couple of comments audio artisan. Did you guys see the Vieira scuffle? Absolutely, we've already talked about that. So if you watch the replay, you'll be able to see that a bit earlier on. But yeah, I think everyone here on Vieira's side there, because rivalry is one thing, assault, violence, completely unacceptable. And simply Ace, we only need a draw. I said if we qualify for the Champions League, we'll be in goal difference and not far off. Those thrashings we have given out have helped us big time. Absolutely. And not only have they helped us out, they've also shown, Arsenal in particular, but at the time as well, Man United, West Ham, if we get going, we can tear any team apart. And the fact that we went to Anfield when Liverpool needed a result. We were not criticised, but when we drew 2-2 with them, it wasn't Liverpool's top team. We went to Anfield with Liverpool's top team and should have won that game, and that sends out a message as well.
Wasn't our midfield against Liverpool in a 2-2 draw? Wasn't our midfield Dele Alli, Ndombele, Harry Winks?
Yeah. But yeah, in terms of Son, Tommy, 1 goal off the Golden Boot. I don't know who Liverpool are playing, but obviously they need to win to stand any chance of winning the league. But Son, if we can get going and hand out another thrashing, he could easily get a hat-trick. I mean, how good would it be for him to get a Golden Boot? And Gary Lineker put him in his Team of the Year, best player of the season. And I watched the but his reasoning and saying he deserved a mention because he's been so consistent for so many years and gets overlooked. He's very underrated. And he reiterated again that I've seen him say a lot of times that any team in Europe, if he was available, would want him in their team. But yeah, it'd be amazing.
So that's why I argue with the fact that he's underrated. I don't think he is underrated. When we talk to neutral fans, the first player they want is Son, and not just from Spurs, like in the Premier League.
I think underrated he means via punditry and everything like that. They're always talking about the Liverpools, the Man Cities, and everything like that. Whereas
possibly
they don't really, and you know, he's 1 goal off the Golden Boot off of someone who's potentially going to win the league, and like Brad said, is one of the 2 teams that are by far and away the best in the league, playing for a team that are nowhere near as good, and for half the season or a third of the season were awful, and he's still in with that race. How it would be amazing for him to get Golden Boot.
It would, but we wouldn't be shocked, would we? We know how good he's probably one of the best finishers for a left wing I've ever seen. Because he is naturally a left winger, and he's changed his game. We talk about Kane changing his game over the last two seasons, but Son's sort of changed his game. He was usually always far on the left-hand side, comes inside and curls that ball into the bottom right corner. But he's been playing a lot more central this season, and that's the last 2 years probably because Kane has to play deeper, so it gives space for Son to go through the centre. And so we've seen him finish through the centre on the left wing. So he's changed his game for the better too. So he without a doubt deserves it. To, you know, through his Premier League career to finish as a Golden Boot winner once would be amazing. It would be amazing, as you said, with the teams around us and the players that are there that are involved, the Salahs and the and the Man City boys that are at the top there. And is it 1 goal now? Because Salah didn't score
to equal. I think it's 1 goal behind Salah.
Because
Salah scored, didn't he?
On 21.
Did Salah score?
No, Salah didn't play against Southampton, so he's obviously doubtful. Well,
he hasn't scored for about 2.5 months now, has he? Yeah. He hasn't scored a Premier League goal for about 2.5 months.
They're at home to Wolves, which could easily be something like a 6-0. Wolves can't do really anything, and Liverpool need a win. And it's written in the stars, isn't it, that Liverpool win 6-0, Man City get a last-minute Aguero winner, win the league, and then Salah getting 6 goals is all irrelevant. But, I mean, Brad, do you see him getting the Golden Boot, or do you see Salah taking it?
First of all, as long as we draw or win on Sunday, I don't care. But having said that, it'd be absolutely amazing for Sonny. He's been it's hard to believe he's been at the club for 6 years now. It's incredible.
He wasn't far off leaving as well, was he? I read
exactly, that's right.
He wanted to get game time, give me game time, and boy, has he repaid that fate.
Yeah, and yes, he has adapted his game. He has, and he's as you know. I don't know why he attracts so much hate on the internet. It's incredible on social media. For opposing fans, because he's the nicest guy you'll ever meet. Certainly, I've never met him, but going by what you see on TV or interviews and that, and what you see, he's a really nice guy. So Yeah, all right. He has the occasional moments, like when he's been sent off a couple of times where he's seen the red mist. But we're all like that, I'm like that every now and again. So it does happen. But no, he's a really good player. I don't think he's underrated by the fans.
Oh no,
I agree with him being underrated by the punditry, but also I think it's quite amazing that he hasn't been connected with a big move transfer.
Yeah.
And I'm not, which is great. Don't get me wrong, that's actually wonderful, but he hasn't, and that I find that quite extraordinary. That I can't think of any, certainly not a story that's been in the media and stayed in the media. It might have been a little thing. Oh, someone's sort of interested in that. He had the chat with Klopp the other week, didn't he? They came off the pitch, and that's Son to Liverpool. Never had any grounds, and never sort of really took off. No. I can't remember him once being linked with a big move to another club or a so-called bigger club. But yeah, the guy is, and let's face it, also, we've got a lot of extra supporters through him, and everyone laughs at the Korean supporters. Oh, they're tourists. No, they're not. They're really
big money coming into the club.
Yeah,
though,
they're passionate supporters, and they, all right, they might follow a certain player, but they come in and they support the club. And we bumped into Thailand Spurs a few weeks ago before the Arsenal game in one of the bars there. I think Stell's got an interview with them, and yeah, they've come all the way out to watch the game. So how can you say they're not they're not passionate about it? So yeah, I can see Sonny staying at Tottenham for the rest of his career, which I'm be very pleased with. Again, be absolutely wonderful to see him win the Golden Boot. But as long as we get fourth position on Sunday, it's not the end of the world for me. Absolutely. So, and as for the people that keep saying, "Oh, Kane should give him penalties," no, the team comes first. Unless we're 4 or 5-0 up and there's a penalty in the last minute.
Kane still won't give. Do you know what? Kane still will not give it to him.
What does happen?
Yeah, you're probably right there, Tommy.
I guarantee he still won't give it to him. He never gets subbed off. He never gets subbed off, even if 5-1 up against Newcastle, 5-0 up against Everton.
If we've won the game and last minute, Son's on 2 goals, will he give him the penalty?
I don't think he will.
I don't know.
He's
like addicted. He's like he's a proper goal addict, isn't he, Kane?
Yeah.
You need that to be a great goal scorer. You need to be selfish in that respect. But it'd be very interesting. Obviously, it won't matter to me that much because, like you say, Brad, 5-0 win last minute means we're top 4, so it doesn't really matter. It's for Kane and Son to have a moan about. But yeah, it'd be very interesting if that scenario were to happen. If who would get the penalty if the game's done and dusted and Son.
I wonder if he'll take a few free kicks because he's taking corners now, isn't he? I wonder if he'll take a few free kicks.
He's actually really good at corners. You obviously get the odd 1 or 2 that don't go anywhere, but compared to how Eriksen used to be in his last season, where none of them went past the first man, he's great at corners. Puts it into an area, and they say, don't they, strikers? That's probably why Kane took it for England not that long ago. Strikers know what they want from a cross, so are quite good at putting those crosses in because they know what they want from it. And Shearer was brilliant at crossing the ball, not corners, but crossing the ball from wide. He was brilliant in putting it into an area because he knew the area that he wanted. But moving back onto Norwich, Tommy, Norwich's danger men, obviously the standout one is Pukki. Give him a chance and he's likely to score. They don't have Cantwell, who I was a big fan of. He's on loan at Bournemouth. Who are the other danger men for Norwich that you'd be wary of?
As you say, they don't have Cantwell. They don't have Skip from last season, who was a big part of their season. They don't have Buendia, who they sold and never really replaced. So their squad is weaker than it was in the Championship. And that's why I feel sorry for players like Max Aarons, who I really rate. Look at the team he's part of. I mean, how is he supposed to excel? And he's still one of the best players on the pitch every game they play. But it's a struggle to play in that team. It truly is. I watched, I think his name's Norman, earlier on in the season before he got injury. Very good technical player. In centre midfield. But other than that, they don't really have a lot going for them. Pukki's a bit of a fox in the box. If he gets it in the box, he'll probably put it in the back of the net. I was looking at some of the news. I'm watching Sky Sports in the background, and Ben Gibson's not going to play. He's been good. He's a regular centre back. So it looks like he's a doubt for the game. And the other Ben Gilmore, who's basically replaced Skip on loan from Chelsea. Is it Billy Gilmore? Oh, of course it is. Yeah, Billy Gilmore. Yeah. So he's really struggled. He looked fantastic for Chelsea at the end of last season. And at the Euros for Scotland, he looked very good. I think he got man of the match when Scotland played us, in fact. But Norwich, he's been really poor. The Norwich fans are saying he hasn't settled well. He hasn't done anything near to what Skip done the season before. That's why they're bottom. That's why we should beat them comfortably. I don't think they have any real danger men in attack. So yeah, it should be comfortable. I don't fear Norwich. I certainly do not fear Norwich.
I think
I've got to go. I've got to go, chaps. I do
No
have to
worries.
go. I have to run, literally, get my train.
Just very quickly, Hotspur Hood. Where can people find that?
Yes, yes. So Chris hosts on there on a Monday. Chris, brilliant host of this channel. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already done so, and share, because Chris is not on 250 subscribers yet. That's a big milestone. So make sure, if you haven't subscribed, share the channel and get him up to 250. He absolutely deserves it. And as I said, he streams on my channel on a Monday. Marlon streams as well. So we've got a few different hosts.
And you got Haas doing one coming up.
Of course.
As well.
Haas is doing a stream, and Haas is probably going to do something himself for the Hotspur Hood. We're going to sort something out in the summer, get a few more people hosting. And tonight we have a preview. We have a preview at 9:15 tonight. We have the great Brian Daigle. I don't know where he's gone, but we got the great Brian Daigle. He's on tonight. We got Coys. We got the main guy of Coys.com. They're quite a big podcast. Coys.com tonight, and we got a few others. So make sure you watch us. Oh, really? Is that yeah? Because they said they done those sorts of things.
Yeah.
So yeah, we got Carl. He's the main host there. He's on tonight. So it should be interesting. Join us for that. And if you're interested in transfers, I done a transfer stream yesterday, a solo one, which was actually really good. I got a lot of likes for that, which is great, because that means I'm going to certainly keep doing a lot more. And obviously the summer's coming, so transfers. I think I got something like 45 likes, and I only had 25 people watching, which is weird. But so yeah, I'm certainly going to be bringing more of them out. And if you want some transfer ideas, a lot of the transfer ideas were from people in the chat, and we just got this. So yeah, give that a watch. But before you do anything, make sure you subscribe and share this channel. We need to get Chris up to 250.
Excellent.
Thanks for having me, boys.
Oh, no problem.
In a
Welcome
bit.
anytime. Yeah, make sure you go over Hotspur Hood. Make sure you go over Hotspur Hood. Watch the transfer show from yesterday and all the shows that are coming up as well. A couple of comments. Simply Ace. Norwich will be a tough match for us due to pressure. Pukki will be a key man for Norwich, but we need to keep eyes on all of them. And Bob, oh dear. Do not, Bob. A draw versus Norwich for me and Arsenal to win 14-0. Miss out.
Can you imagine?
He has now said, all jokes aside, easy 4-1 win.
4-1. Bob always says 4-1.
I don't think this Spurs fan certainly cannot, Bob, cope with a draw and a 14-0 the other way to Arsenal. Just get a win. Like I said at the start, no fannying about. But yeah, Brad, Norwich's danger men for you.
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't pretend to have much knowledge on Norwich's players, but Pukki obviously is the one that stands out. He's a very good striker, and Max Aarons, who we've been sort of looking at for years and years. They're two decent players. Other than that, there's no one there that sort of stands out. Certainly not, him. I mean, you can go to say Newcastle and you can think of a few players up there. But Norwich, you think, no, I don't really know. In fact, I looked at their team the other day, or the team that last played, and I thought, apart from Aarons and Pukki, I don't know any of these. Oh, Gilmore, I guess, the other one. But
that makes them slightly dangerous as well, doesn't it? Because there's a possible danger, like we're potentially doing as fans by not knowing who they are, underestimating the players that we don't know, which I cannot believe for 1 second that Conte doesn't know who one of those players are. He'll have... and that he will underestimate them. But it's a danger, isn't it? Because that's how giant killings happen.
Exactly.
And how upsets happen by underestimating the team you're playing against, not approaching it in the professional way that you should be, and the other team do, and then you can't adjust.
I mean, it's like, I mean, my friend Miller that I mentioned earlier in the show, she said, I noticed that you haven't been celebrating top 4 yet, and I said, well, we haven't got
absolutely,
it, and there's a very good YouTube sort of a comedy video out, which I'm going to, if we get top 4, I'm going to share, because it's a very, very funny video, but I'm not until we get it, because it's done on the premise that we got top 4, but we haven't.
I've made the mistake before, not on a top 4, but on a game against a Villa, who at the time I had a friend who was a Villa fan. We were winning at half time, laughed and joked. We lost the game, so I do not tempt fate anymore.
No. And let's face it. All right, we had a second string team. Let's face it, we were 1-0 down at home to Morecambe until about 15 minutes ago. So it's anything is possible. Yes, I'm still confident we can do the job on Sunday, but anything's possible. We can't take it lightly. And I think having the extra 7 days will help, because I think that time will be used by Conte to go through videos of Norwich and how they play and what to expect. So
and make sure the focus is there. Make sure
Yeah,
the focus doesn't
yeah,
wane, and make sure
yeah.
the correct preparation and attitude is there.
Yeah, I still think that the first 10 minutes will let them come onto us. That seems to be the way that Tottenham play this season, whether you like it or not. But then I think we should, like we did against Arsenal, we should get a foothold in the game. Once we get a foothold in the game, if you'd presume that we're going to make chances, we're not playing a team that's going to have a low block. So you presume that we'll get chances, and in Kane and Son, we've got two of the best finishers in the league. So yeah, it's a game that we should win comfortably, but I'm not going to say anything because we've all been there. We've all been there before, and actually, I might put it in a song I've written. Yeah, I've written a song about following a football team, but it's like a relationship song, but it's really based on following a football team. So that line about letting me down, I should put that in there, definitely.
Yeah. We'll come to predictions a bit later, but Simply Ace has predicted top four with Norwich 2, Tottenham 2, and Arsenal 1, Everton 1.
Yeah.
I'd take that, although I think 2-2 would be a bit nervy. But yeah, so I should have asked Tommy. I completely forgot. I was going to ask Brian at the end. Hopefully he comes back. But if not, it's just you, Brad. It's just you. We've had Bob's prediction. We had Simply Ace's prediction. I won't give a score prediction, but we should be winning this game. I think if Norwich come and attack us, we'll win fairly comfortably. If they sit back, it could very well be a Burnley-type scrap game. But again, all we need is a draw. Norwich don't really need anything. It could be one of those dead rubber games where they don't want to lose, we don't want to lose. I'd be very nervous at that. You go out to win a game. You don't go out to not. That's what Jose used to do. Go out to not lose. You go out to win a game. That's how Ferguson and people like that were so successful, and Klopp now as well. But yeah, if Norwich attack us, certainly if there's no food poisoning or any of this illness going around and everyone's fully fit, I think we should be winning that. And certainly if Norwich attack us fairly comfortably, because I think it'll be like the Villa and Leeds game where we just pick them off. But yeah, how does the game pan out for you and your score predictions?
Yeah, well, as I previously said, I think we'll allow them to come on to us for the first sort of 10 minutes. I think we'll be measured. I don't think we'll be gung-ho. I mean, even when we were 3-0 up against Arsenal, we were still pretty measured. And that is, I think that's a Conte team. I think that's how you win titles.
Well, I think with the Arsenal game, we had a game coming up. We didn't want any injuries or anything like that.
That's true. That's true. That's true. I thought the only thing, I thought we looked a little nervy against Burnley in the last sort of 10-15. They seemed to, as I was, seemed to be quite relieved when the final whistle went. But at the end of the day, they didn't really have many chances, Burnley. And Tottenham had 3 really good chances to score more. We had the great save off the line. We had a couple of brilliant saves from Nick Pope, from I think Son, and from I think a couple of the other player. So yeah, we should definitely, we had chances to win that game. So you're back again. I've got 2 of you there, Chris. Oh, hello. We'd like to apologise for this break in transmission.
I've no idea what's going on.
There he is.
Absolute shit show this. I think we better end it soon. Yeah, sorry, Brad.
Predictions for the score. Look, I'm only saying. Look, I've said this in the last 2 or 3 games. I don't think I've got it right once, and I don't want to be right. Well, I don't want to be right. I don't want to be right in the wrong way this time. If that makes any sense. I'm going 2-1 Tottenham. It wouldn't be Tottenham if we didn't concede, to be fair. Although, having said that, we've conceded 5 in our last 9. And I think we're the best defence, other than Liverpool, Man City. We've got the best defence in the league. I think we've got the best attack in the league, other than Liverpool, Man City, this season. So, I think 2-1 Tottenham. Hopefully, that'll be 2-0 and they score with the last kick of the game, so I don't have to sit there biting my fingernails, which, as you can see, I haven't got much feet to a bite. But yeah, so I think 2-1. I'd prefer 3-0, 4-0. I'd prefer to be 3 up at half time or whatever. I prefer to be 3-0 up at half time with Norwich having a player sent off. I'm not proud. So anything for the easy life. But I think we'll win.
Yeah, as long as we get top 4, couldn't care less when the day is said and done.
Exactly.
Obviously, more comfortable is the better, because then there's no biting fingernails, worrying, or anything like that. But it is Tottenham. When have Tottenham ever done anything that hasn't made their fans worry? But there's a first time for everything. And Norwich are there for the taking. They've conceded however many goals, minus 58 goal difference. So it is there for the taking. Hopefully there's no illness, or bugs, or poisoning, or any of that business. And then we can go out, do a professional job. I keep saying it. No fannying about. Above all, no fannying about. And get that job done. And then it completely, we don't even have to look at the Arsenal result if we win, because it's completely irrelevant. And then we get our job done. We get top 4. Hopefully Conte then gets backed with all the players that he wants. And then we can have a real big push to get Champions League again next season without a last day shootout, as it were. Pretty much the end before I end up cutting off again. And I don't know what's happening here. I've been doing streams for about a month now and nothing's happened. So I have no idea what's happening. But thanks to Tommy. Make sure you go and check out the Hotspur Hood. Thanks to Brian as well. Check out Tottenham on Tour, both on YouTube, both the descriptions in the both the links, in the description, and their YouTube handles, Twitter handles. Oh dear, cutting off and can't even speak. And thanks to Brad as well. Pleasure having you on always.
Cheers, anytime.
And your music channel.
The actual channel is up, but I haven't put anything on it yet, and I haven't entirely decided on the name, that sort of thing. It was going to be called Songs from the Blue Sofa, behind me, but unbelievably, there is a channel called Songs from the Blue Sofa, and it's got a couple of Eastern European playing a couple of songs. It's doing experimental music. It's really, really funny. So it's tentatively titled Blue Sofa Songs, or Brad's Blue Sofa Songs, or Blue Sofa Songs, but I don't know yet. I haven't decided. The channel's up. I've got a separate channel from my YouTube, because I put YouTube's really weird to work out. Well. Yeah.
Favorite police song?
Oh, I would say Message in a Bottle, which is the obvious one. I like Driven to Tears, and Next to You, which is the first song on this second album, I think. But they got lots of really good songs. Certainly Atlantis d'Amour and Regatta de Blanc were 2 absolutely superb albums, which were different at the time they came out, different to what else was going on. And seen them a couple of times. Actually, really, really good live when they're at their pomp. But so that's my answer for that one.
Excellent. But Brad's Twitter handle, you can see that there at Brad Hotspur. Yep. That's in the description as well. So make sure.
Don't forget to click. Hang on, got to get this right. Click like and subscribe to. Oh God, there we go. Yeah, there we go. Excellent. To Chris at Let's Talk Tottenham. He's also on Hotspur Hood. Click a like and subscribe to anyone that's been on here tonight, or any of the Tottenham YouTubers. They're all doing an absolutely brilliant job. They deserve loads and loads of subscribers. Yep, simply click like and subscribe. And it's a community, and I've said this time and time again, it's a community that I'm proud and privileged to have known over the last couple of years. I've met Chris, I've met Brian, I've met Tommy, I've met a load of YouTubers, and it's an absolutely wonderful community. And it's something that happened during lockdown, I guess. Lockdown had some advantages, and that was certainly one of them.
Absolutely. And make sure you follow Brad on Twitter at Brad Hotspur. You'll get all the information, I'm sure, when videos are uploaded, and channels are uploaded, and all that business. Yeah, make sure you do that, and make sure you hit the subscribe there when that goes live, and the likes on the videos. Watch the videos, and you know the drill by now. And please hit like and subscribe here. Really helps the channel get me up to 250 subscribers. And go on Hotspur Hood, Tottenham on Tour. Do exactly the same there. Really helps all the channels. Really helps the community, and so appreciative. And thanks to everybody in the chat as always, and everybody for watching. Like I say, please hit the like, please hit the subscribe, and one more game to go, and then this season is over, and hopefully we get an achievement which we never thought was going to happen certainly after that 3-0 Man United game, which is we get 4th. And Also, not as important, but it is nice. St Totteringham's Day yet again will be cancelled. So let's hope we can beat Norwich. Hopefully, the more relaxing, the better. More comfortable, the better. But as long as we get a draw or a win, couldn't care less. As long as at the end of the day, when that table is read out, we're in 4th place, I couldn't care less. But no fannying about, please, Tottenham. Get the job done. No pissing about, no being stupid, no taking them lightly. Get the job done, and then we can all celebrate over the summer, and hopefully Conte can get the players in and we can make a real push next year. And again, thanks to Brad, thanks to Brian, thanks to Tommy, thanks to you for watching. And as always, come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.
Thank you so much for watching, and to everybody who joined in the live chat. Before you go, please leave a like, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. It's all free and you'll be notified when we go live. Anyone who missed the live stream can still watch the replay on YouTube, and any comments, questions or suggestions on the comments there. For anyone listening to the audio only podcast, thank you so much for listening. Anyone who wants that podcast, you get that wherever you get your podcast from. Alternatively, go to our Twitter or Instagram page on the screen. We'll be back on Monday on the Hotspur Hood YouTube channel. Give them a subscribe. We're there at 7:30 p.m. UK time. And we're on this channel, Let's Talk Tottenham, 12:30 p.m. UK time again on Fridays.